Go. Hey, everybody. It's Friday, and I'm here with two of my favorite people in comics for sure, Geoff and Joe. How are you both doing?
I'm good.
I'm all right.
Joe's showing his face. I'm not showing my face.
Oh, no.
I don't care.
It's fine.
I will not bow to your peer pressure.
Joe will give the expressions for everyone. That's the way it should be. Well, thank you everybody for joining us here. We missed last week. It was 4th of July. I hope everybody had a good time blowing stuff up. Did either of you blow anything up?
Not at all. In fact, I took my wife and our dog, who loses his shit, as many animals do during that period. So I got them to, shall we say, an undisclosed safe location in a small town environment. Perfect. Where there would not be any of that. And I stay here for work. So while the rest of the country shut down, there was nothing but work. There's nothing but work going on. So,
well, that's a bummer.
Depends on the work.
That's good.
I was at the cemetery for the 1-year anniversary of my grandfather's passing. So
yikes!
That's how I spent my 4th of July. So it was fun though, because a friend of mine actually mentioned to me when I had brought that up. He was just like, "Oh wow, that's gonna like kind of ruin 4th of July for you for the rest of your life, huh?" And I was like, "Thanks."
Yeah, I wasn't thinking that before, but now, yes, it will, asshole. Thank you so much. God damn.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that's rough. Okay, I drank. I guys killed the mood faster than Captain America being unhappy with the dream. So, yeah, the worst thing I got is I lit some fireworks off, and my dog, who's not scared of fireworks, decided I think I'll go try and eat that, and we had to yank it back last minute before it went off. So,
no, that's not food, you idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god!
My daughter's like, let's see what happens. I'm like,
no. I've told you before, you have to go to supervillain school before you start blowing up dogs. You can't do it here at the house.
I'm raising them early, so get work. It's work study from home is what's going on. But
there you go. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, yes, thank you everybody who joined us here tonight, and thank you to the 2 people who downvoted before we went on the air. I appreciate that.
Wow!
Nice.
Wow!
But as you could tell, Geoff and Joe are the guests tonight. Always fun to talk comics. I have to ask at this point. So I was looking at these 2 covers coming out. So I think Becstar issue 1 second printing is out this coming week.
What? Hey, applause!
Very nice.
Thank you.
Go, baby, go.
And Geoff, you've got this. This is the next issue of Green Lantern that's coming in a few weeks, I think.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Yeah. So what's funny here is I know neither of you choose the covers. We've established that before. Mm-hmm. But if you were to troll kind of the audience of people who have expressed skepticism, Geoff, you've got a Green Lantern cover that appears to show Joe taking on the entire Sinestro Corps. If you were trolling the audience, there's probably no. I mean, the only thing you could have done better is if they had Teen Lantern there, kind of pushing Joe down, be like, no, I'll take care of this.
No, I'll handle these fools.
Yeah.
Well, as I've said before, I have a vote on the covers, but it is not determinative. The covers should always be taken as more of the vibe rather than a snapshot. Like they should always have a thing that says this image does not appear in this comic book. I think they're great, and they definitely set the tone of the feeling of what's happening. But if you're going to tune in for a swarm of everyone in the yellow against this one green lady, no, not exactly.
Okay.
Don't come in for the epic. The cover is somewhat not what's happening.
Well, and speaking of which, so on Becstar, It's a fun cover, but I mean, this is the most relaxed these characters are in the first issue. Like, at no point in the first issue do the characters like chill out and chew gum.
Yeah, that's true. It's pretty.
Yeah, that also doesn't happen in the second, third, fourth, or fifth issues.
I do like you did capture the purples and blues there in the cover, so I love it. Anyway, cool. Well, congratulations, of course, on the success on both fronts, and so highlights of the week. We had a bunch of various things go on here. I wonder if you have any takes on it. We went to a quick, and Joe kind of ruined the bit last time by just doing it very quickly, but
yes.
Which we can certainly do again. Geoff, how? So I noticed you expressed some irritation with social media today.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I'm not a big fan of time wasting, and this week was a pretty big time wasting week on social media for me. There's a lot of little minor, like, I'm so mad about this, so I better call my congressman. And I'm like, you better worry about your vote. Like, if you're mad about this nonsense, you're paying attention to the wrong crap. And I started feeling like old man yells at cloud after a certain point. So I was like, maybe it's time to back the hell away from this crap. There's just a lot of silly non-controversies coming out of, like, I just don't get it. Like, it's almost like you just want to be mad about something this week. And I'm like, there's plenty of real world shit to be mad about. Why are you looking so hard in the comic book realm to be pissed off?
Right.
It is. I mean, Joe and I talked about Laura and the whole X23 Wolverine controversy. We were talking earlier today about how surprised I think we were that, I mean, that video that we put up has like 500 plus comments. And how? I mean, it seems we said it in the other video, but I still maintain, like, if you're mad, I mean, she's in the primary X-Men book. They're calling her Wolverine there. Like, what do you have to be mad about at this point? Like, does
she have a dead name? I mean, that's a very specific term.
It is. I didn't want to. I mean, the two phrases that kept bouncing around was dead name and slave name, both which felt.
Oh, Christ on a fucking Christ!
They both feel like pretty offensive to me. I mean, it's like, come on.
I don't know. She was introduced as X23, so a whole bunch of people think of her that way. Personally, I prefer to call her Wolverine, but I have a bent against Logan, so you really can't consider my opinion. I dislike Logan almost from like 1995 to the present day. So, like, why can't it just be whatever book you're reading? That's what they're calling her. Like, I don't know why you have to get mad about that.
I mean, it would be. It's not like they went back to X23. They're calling her Wolverine. She's in the main book. Like, just call. I mean, if you call it a day. Who cares?
Who's calling her X23? Which book is calling her X23?
Nobody.
Then wait, what? What?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think some people on Twitter said she'll always be X23 to me, which again is a reasonable, I think, point of view since she was introduced that way. If that's what you remember, who cares? But in the comic, they're calling her Wolverine. I mean, like, why is nobody complaining about her knockoff costume?
You know what? I looked at X-Men 1 and I just thought it was gorgeous, to be honest with you. That's a straight up comic book right there.
Well, speaking of which, not to bounce around a bit, they live in a treehouse. How do you feel about that?
I mean, like, why not? They moved to Mars. Why can't they live in a treehouse if they want to? It's pretty crazy by now.
Very esoteric. How do you like the treehouse, Joe?
So many plants. It's so plant centric. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like this is setting up ending the Krakoa era, where we're getting back to, the X-Men are a team based in New York again, and that over the next year or two, we're going to slowly be pushing more to that. I feel like this is that step towards
I agree with you.
That era. Yeah,
I agree with you. I agree with that. I think that it couldn't have ever ended well whole Krakoa thing, and then declaring Mars the center of the solar system, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to represent our species in terms of the galactic whatever. It's like, who elected you, assholes, for that? So it just can't go well. I don't know how it's going to go badly, but it has to. So,
when are they going to live in a van down by the river? That's a good question. I hope soon. That's
break it down.
So LK points out, and I think this was the origin point. Some random lunatic posts a picture of Laura and Jane Foster saying these are the real Wolverine and Thor, and then
suck a dick. Fuck off. That's just fucking bullshit. Jesus Christ, looking for trouble. That's just such bullshit.
Well,
why can't people like what they like?
These are the real. No, none of these characters are real. That's kind of the whole point.
Right. Like, whatever, yo. What the fuck ever.
Sorry. It's true. It's too much to get fussed about. And
I'm sorry. I'm a little salty today. It's been a long week for me.
Be salty. It's we are live. This is not pre-recorded. We haven't been pre-recording forever. Like there's no pre-recorded. So, Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale, new long Halloween. That sounds nice, right?
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, especially that they do this during Asian Heritage Month. That was probably a good call for them to do
that. Grant Morrison leaving DC, so that's after the Authority. He said, or he's at least saying he won't be with DC well, but it seems like he said that before.
Well, let me ask you guys, especially Joe, who seems to know all of the backstage everything.
Yeah.
This Authority thing with Superman, isn't that something from a long time ago that is just now coming out?
This was supposed to be ready for Future State.
Okay.
Yeah. And it might have been in the works before that, but then there was a point where it was like, it's definitely going to be part of Future State. And then they did announce that, and then forgot it, they just pushed it aside. So Grant has been done with this for a while.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Their break. They haven't. I don't think they've written anything for DC this whole year, or probably into the end of last year. So
yeah.
Fuck you, Mumbles.
But this is I mean, Grant Morrison not doing stuff at DC. It's very I don't know if people have seen the very highbrow film Basketball. A guy known as Squeak Scolari who would say things like, if you guys rag on me 13, 14 more times, I'm out of here. Yeah. And Grant is constantly, and after the Multiversity miniseries thing, they were like, I'm done, and then they were back, and they were like, I'm done again, and I'm sure they'll be done again with DC 2 or 3 more times before they're actually done.
I feel like hiring them is like hiring the spirit of Jack Kirby. It's like they always think that, this will be great, it's going to be a whole injection of awesomeness into the line, but it's always so often its own thing that only they can do it. And so if anyone else tries to mess with the concepts, they always fall flat, and you end up having to retool, retcon, and come back to the center again, which doesn't say anything about the quality of the actual projects as done by Grant. But it's like only Grant can do Grant.
Yeah.
Right?
How about, so some people are saying this is all Marvel DC. There is one thing that's different. The Walking Dead started out with Skybound X, right? So it was the sci-fi turn of The Walking Dead. Is this something that I saw a lot of people get very angry about this? They seem to miss the joke.
Wait, so initially Kirkman lied to Image to say it was that the end of Walking Dead was going to prove it was aliens that caused the whatever, but that was just to get it over the fence so we could get his black and white zombie comic made. I'm not reading it, so did that actually happen? Because that's a troll. That's a gigantic troll move.
It didn't. So the series ended, of course, and then they started this weekly comic where back in Walking Dead, I'm pretty sure it was number 75. They did this kind of joke, what if type ending, where it did what you said. They basically put out a, suddenly aliens appear, and the governor is kind of there alive, and he's a cyborg now, and it's like it was crazy. It was intended to be nuts. So,
so
it was fun.
it's a joke. Yeah.
And then this week they put out this Skybound X series, and I think there's like somebody will have to help me out. I think it's like 6 issues, and they're going to tell a story in that world. So everybody's running around with lightsabers and things, and it's crazy.
I mean, it's his property. He can do what he wants with it.
Yeah. It seems like a fun joke, and I was a little bit surprised there was this negative reaction to it, like, how dare you,
Ugh.
And it's like,
Grow up.
Maybe comics could be fun every now and then. It could just be fun.
God forbid. God forbid.
And
again,
let's just all be miserable. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I buy comics. I know that's the reason I go.
Speaking of miserable, Captain America hating America and Dreams. Did you
snore?
Did you?
Snore.
The take I got of this was like, hasn't he questioned the dream like roughly 20 times in the last 10 years? Like
easily that. And there's that whole era where he was just being called the captain and wandering around in a black Captain America costume. Like, I wonder what was going on there. Like, I mean, Jesus.
That was a fun time. That was back when it was original. Like
that's when he punched Ronald Reagan, for God's sake.
That was when Ronald Reagan was a snake creature. That's right. Yeah. No, it's the Captain America. The biggest takeaway I had, because it hit the news. Of course, Fox did a story on it, others, and they were like, now Captain America is lost the dream, and it's like, man, that has been the go-to storyline for every run over the last 5 years. I don't know what you're doing.
I would go back. I think someone on my Twitter feed was lifting out crap from. There's that famous shot of him going to the newsstand and yelling into public, Captain America screaming, "Why is America always on the wrong side of every war?"
Oh yeah,
like, Jesus Christ, and Nocenti. Like, holy shit.
It feels like what I desperately want is a new Captain America storyline. That's what I'm. That's what I.
I feel like that too. Like, I feel like if you're going to do big two comics, it's a hard dance though, man. Like, there's a lot that the company imposes that, and I say impose in its most benign kind of way. The company has what they want to do, and you have what you pitched. And then by the time an audience sees it, there's some synthesis of those two things. But whether it's 60-40 or 50-50 or 30-70, only the company and the creatives know. Like, maybe that something else was pitched, and this is what the company's like, no, we need him to be disillusioned and be this way so we can do this other shit. We just don't know.
Agreed. No, I mean that is somebody is saying this is the pitch we want to run with. I would like them to, like, it's like Tony is battling alcoholism again. Spider-Man fucked something up, and it's.
but I mean, this goes into the whole thing about how every moment's a waking nightmare in comics, because everything's it's Groundhog Day. Every day you wake up and you go to the shop and you're like, what's happening now? It's the same shit that's been happening. It's like,
it's the Corn Saga. Wait, didn't we do that twice already?
Yeah.
Wait, when you get to the point where you're rehashing Atlantis attacks, there's a problem.
Wow.
That's true.
Wow.
And it's like, I'm ready for okay, now what? Like, there used to be, I know this is going to sound alien to a lot of people, but there used to be Captain America and Superman and Batman comics where they'd stop a thing and they'd like keep going instead of constantly going back. And constantly rehashing everything.
Yeah. I'm getting a little heat for that on Green Lantern right now because of the whole destruction of the battery thing. And all I can say about it is it's not going to be like it's been before. Let's just put it like that. Like, there are things you have to do.
It doesn't seem like it's been done before. We'll get bored of that. But this doesn't feel like a retread. I mean, you got to stick the landing still, man. But I mean, that's
up to you guys. I don't know if the landing's going to get stuck, but we're going to shoot for that target. We'll see.
I want to get your take briefly on this. Joe and I did a video on this. I think it will go out in a few days. But the Suicide Squad it's Wildcat. What was it? Wild Stallion.
Wild Boar.
Wild Dog.
Wild Boar. Yeah.
Wild Dog, right?
It's
Wild
not Wild
Dog.
Dog,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's Wild Dog. Okay.
Everybody's going to be pissed at us in the comments, but the joke will play out in a couple of days. I promise.
It will.
So this Suicide Squad. So basically, in this comic, they reveal that, or Wild Dog informs the rest of Suicide Squad that he was in the Capitol riot, insurrection, drunken people getting into the Capitol building, and this has caused a lot of controversy. But
what kind?
Well, the original creators of Wild Boar were not Wild Dog. Sorry,
it's Wild Dog.
the original creators were pretty pissed about this.
Oh, really?
They didn't like the idea that Wild Dog would be a Proud Boys member, which again seems like a bit of a weird. I mean, we've seen most of the DC universe at various times be mind-controlled murderers, so I'm not sure why this is the line. But
all right. I don't know who created him, but I'm old, so I remember him. Does anyone remember frickin' Wild Dog?
Yeah.
Like you guys are joking, but you didn't get his name right. So that tells you how much around he's been. I feel like the writers probably went, oh, here's a character who is sort of a violent vigilante type. Yeah. Let's use him to say these things. Yeah. Why not?
They went really, like the creators got really mad, like viscerally angry at Azzarello about this. And I mean, the character belongs to DC. I mean,
yeah.
You know, what are you going to do?
Well, what I'll say about it is that I'm up and down depending on what he's writing. Yeah. Mr. Azzarello, that I thought wildly offensive Luke Cage he did with Richard Corbin was like, how did this ever get out of the door? Why? Who pitched this and why? But you know what I did about it? Not buy it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I did about it.
Well,
bye.
The other piece to go into it, I'd love anybody, if anybody in the chat wants to weigh in, but Geoff, here's the other thing I don't get about this. If you're going to put the Capitol riot, if you're going to put that event into the DC universe, I mean, how does it make any sense in the DC universe? Like, Metropolis is routinely destroyed by aliens and Lex Luthor. He was president, and they've kidnapped things. Brainiac's put stuff in a bottle. What is the Flash doing? Like, how does it seem make sense?
I don't feel that the DC universe in particular lends itself to those sorts of inclusions. You can do it, but you probably have to be a way better writer than I am, frankly. But like Marvel did the legacy virus. They didn't do AIDS. Everyone knew they were talking about AIDS. It was clearly AIDS, but they did the legacy virus. And some people, I think, yelled at them about, just say AIDS, assholes, you're cowards, call it what it is. And other people were very happy that they were trying to get at it in a metaphorical way because it's freaking comic books. So I feel like it's really the quality of the book. Like, if you look at Watchmen, the actual Watchmen, not all the various knockoffs, that was very much about British politics in a particular period of time, but it used real-world events and then just injected these sort of sci-fi concepts into them. Nixon's a character. Like, Robert Redford's a freaking character, these kind of things. But we're talking about one of the greatest writers who ever touched the medium playing around with these concepts. I am not arrogant enough to think I'm in that weight class. Others may differ. So they try it, and then we decide whether they made it or not. I wouldn't do it.
I think, as Joe brought, like Cyborg Superman wiped out a whole city. Like, I don't think anybody's really caring about this Capitol thing. And even if somebody was, I think the Flash takes care of the entire thing in roughly 20 seconds.
Yeah. Right. Like, that can't happen. Like, events like that can't happen in the DC universe unless you have superpowered beings also members of the rioters. So, which you could do that. I mean, I'm not against any writer trying anything, but like, oh my God, I feel like things ought to be plausible. So if you're going to do it, it has to be plausible within the rules of the universe you're operating in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to picture Captain Boomerang with a headdress, like hanging out at Pelosi's desk, but it doesn't really work.
Yeah, but on the other side of that, you could have something happen in Metropolis or DC's version of DC, where, like, I don't know, the freaking Creeper or the Joker or somebody has led a bunch of clown faces to do something like that.
Yep.
Right? And you can still get at it. I'm not saying that's the way to go necessarily. I haven't read this comic. It might be excellent, but I don't go off just on them trying it. But I don't know why you're raising the bar that way. Like, it's already hard enough to make freaking comic.
It is. It's a strange. I don't know. It's a strange piece. All right. So Green Lantern comes out, and you're killing some people, like you said.
I told everybody is safe, and a whole bunch of these people are going to be dead. Thousands of them are dead. These are the ones that we got to show on screen. I'm not going to list all 5,000, but yeah, like thousands and thousands of Green Lanterns are dead or perpetually lost.
You're burning it down. Yeah.
The writer loophole will be, obviously we can't just give you a list of all the 7,200 Green Lanterns who were affected, because one, we don't know all their names, and that would be me making up thousands of random names for no reason. But also it gives whatever subsequent writer, right, to the one thing you'll know for sure, I can say for sure, every ring that died is dead for good. So whatever happened to those lanterns.
That's a bold statement there. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever happened to those lanterns, they are wherever they were. They were in space and their species can't survive space. They're freaking dead because space kills you. But there are a whole bunch of loopholes where there could be people trapped on planets they can't get off of, fell into dimensions they can't come back from, all kinds of stuff that another writer could do if they wish to. Like, I'm not destroying them. I'm just taking them off the board in terms of telling the story. Like, this is the writer side, not the reader side. And well, he was dead already. I can't bring him back. Chip is dead. And so I'm making the point, though, while I'm in charge of the book, dead means dead. There's no loopholes. If you died a normal way, you're dead.
Well, you wait for the next writer for that.
Yeah. People will grieve you, right? And that will be impact from your death, because that's what death's supposed to do. But yeah, there's not going to be any magical reprieves and, oh, sorry, if I show you someone dead, they're dead.
Now, we did see Guy Gardner in Future State, so we do know that he's out there, and we know a bit about his future.
Yeah, sort of, yes.
How about this bottle full of lantern rings? Is there going to be a contest at some point where you're going to try and guess the lantern rings and win a prize?
Oh my God, no! I'm so not that brutal. Oh my God, that's foolish. No, dear God, no! I'm not playing this for laughs. I'm trying to give some gravitas to these guys' job. Like,
yes, you are. Sorry,
you know what I mean? Like, I think people misunderstand what Green Lanterns actually are sometimes. Like, you're on some planet, this ring flies up to you and says, hey, Joe Corallo, you are a person you're able to will yourself to do various amazing things. Would you like to be a Green Lantern? And you go, fuck yeah, look at that cool ring. And you put it on. And then they're like, okay, this is your sector. Here's what you get to do in it. You can't kill anybody. Oh, wait, yes, you can. We changed the rules. You can kill people too. Go crazy, right? Go out there and do it. They don't give you an operating manual. They don't give you a repair kit if anything goes wrong. And even if they did, how the hell are you supposed to understand the technology? They don't worry about any of that. Oh, and these little blue guys, just do what they say all the time. Except when they try to murder you, right? Then you can fight back, right? And I'm like, that's what the history of the Green Lantern Corps is. I can't ignore that in this book. So the rings go dark. They just do. It wasn't my choice, but I'm definitely going to use it. Like, I'm not against it. I didn't fight the company and say, no, what are you, crazy? Like, if that's what you want, fucking A, let's go all the way to the wall with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you have a sense of how many lanterns are around now, kind of in your head?
Me?
Yeah.
There are roughly, in the dark sectors, there are slightly fewer than 500 living lanterns wandering around in different places. And there are about, for me, just from my working knowledge of trying to write it, there are maybe 1,000 Green Lanterns spread across space who were either in places where they didn't die because of where they were, or they come from a species where being in deep space doesn't hurt you. So, and they still don't have rings. So it's not like they can hyper jump back from, 9 billion parsecs off to the left. You're still not getting home anytime soon. You're stranded wherever you were, but you're not dead. So,
do you? Is it in your plan to reveal the remaining rules that the Guardians added?
I don't want to talk about my plans too much.
Okay, no problem.
Let me just say, at the end of this arc, there will be a new status quo.
There you go. Okay. And this question probably relates to it, the new Guardians being featured. Wait and see.
Wait and see about the fate of the Guardians in general, about the Guardians. They are pivotal towards the end of this arc. Some very serious things will be decided about the Guardians.
Well, I don't want to pressure too much, but lots of questions. We can keep.
No, keep asking. I'll just say I can't tell you if I can't tell you.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, keep asking questions. We'll put stuff in there.
Yeah.
Lots of things. I want to throw this up. I would have normally shown this last week. This is Joe's nightmare, but in the month of July, we've got 459 comics.
Christ.
What's interesting here, looking at the picture this way, is remember like the headlines, I don't remember, like 6 months ago that DC, oh my God, they've drastically cut their line and it's a nightmare. So, 62 books, that's quite a bit.
But they're not even making comics anymore. It's after June.
Well, wait, you always do this and I don't have a reference point. This seems like a lot to me. Is it?
It's a lot. It's weirdly down, believe it or not. We're normally closer to 500. But the big kind of striking thing here is that Marvel is normally in the 80s. So Marvel is weirdly restrained in July.
Okay.
Which is bizarre. So, and then 62 from DC. As Max mentioned, 50 of those are Batman books. I'm joking there, but not too much of a joke. Image putting out 62 books, which is a lot. It's
really,
it's just a lot of comics. The challenge is, and somebody mentioned up in the chat that the indie books are trying to make some headway. But if you look at this chart, like 35% are in this other category. I mean, that's just a ton of comics that are just.
Now, is that including manga and like European stuff? That's all American domestic output.
Yeah. Zero manga, zero European, zero graphic novels. This is just comics.
And that's just in July. 459.
Just in July. And from at least what we can gather, this number goes up. I think we're going to hit 600 in September. So anyway.
So that's a lot, which means they are confident. Okay, let me throw this at you, big thinkers, people who know how the market side works. So if it's not like they're all coordinated. It means that all of these companies who have upped their output, for at least for this month, feel that there's a market out there to purchase their upped output, that people are going to buy these comics, essentially. They can't rely on the direct market the way they used to, where they're sort of leveraging the purchasing from the shops, because there's no returnability and the shops are way closer to the edge now. They can't risk as much, blah, 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 blah. So does this mean that they think the industry is healthy, that the market is healthy?
I'm curious to get Joe's take on it. So mine is that I think on the indie level, it's easier to get books out, and that it is just easier to put a book out. So I think there's a lot of limited series. There's a lot of like, we're going to put out a trade, so we might as well put out the books. I think there's a lot of that going on. It's kind of relates to the Moon Girl thing that we looked at, it was earlier this week, where you would look at the Moon Girl sales, and there's zero reason why they put out a single floppy for that book, but that book absolutely killed in the trade market with Scholastic. It did great. So I think that there's a lot of that's going on with indies. There's this hope that the trade will do really, really well, so they're willing to lose some money, and it's fairly easy to put the book out. The challenge is, I think a lot of shops are just not ordering from things outside of this list. They're just, it's the stuff gets lost, and I do think it becomes a bad cycle for a lot of these indie guys. Yeah. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see this in a way that's helping the indies. I don't like. Is there a market for 30 IDW books?
IDW thinks so.
Yeah.
But like a lot of those books aren't going to crack 5K.
No.
Right.
Like, and then you're operating at a loss, you know, and there is no market for 16 Scout comics.
I was going to ask you that. That Scout's even on the list. They got that big of an output. Holy crap!
Maybe 4 Scout comics, but 16, and this is not in any way to disparage any of these publishers. They're trying to do what they can, but I mean, when Scout is putting out more comics than Aftershock,
that's weird,
and is on par with Dynamite, that's a weird. I don't see where that's working. But then you're also dealing with these different publishers operate differently.
Right.
Scout, it is closer to the Image model where they're paying people on the back end. So
right.
For them, there's less of that instead. Like, okay, we'll put it out there. We're not really gonna take as much of a hit as one of these publishers that are paying people like page rates.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, both of you guys. Again, we know that Marvel and DC are basically underwritten by these giant mega corporations. We can sort of say that for IDW, and Boom and Dark Horse, although they're not technically owned by a larger corporation, have massive deals with entertainment companies that can serve their bottom line via means other than selling comics. Yeah. But all of these indies, they don't have any of that.
Nope.
What are they doing?
It's a hope, I think, that something takes off on the back end because it is cheap to put this stuff out. But I think it presents a problem and an opportunity where there's just no way to identify these books. And there's a lot of really good books out there. But if you're in the indie market, I mean, you're anybody below Marvel and DC and to some extent Image. If you're anyone below that line, you've got to be really stressing and thinking right now about how you stand out, because it's way too much for anyone to wrap their head around. You can't conceivably, I mean, forget about all the rest. If you're pushing this through the direct market is not going to be able to know what to do with 16 books from Scout. There's just they're
right, because even people like us who are like, oh, I know Scout Comics, I know Aftershock, I know Vault, whatever, just off the top, I'm going to, comic book company. But there's no such thing as a casual buyer of any of those comics. How do they advertise? How are they putting their product out in a way that gets that person who walks by and goes, I know who Superman is. Who the hell is this ant guy? Like,
sure.
I mean, I don't know. I literally don't know. I don't have to worry about crap like that, so I don't think about it. But it just seems unless they know something we don't know, it seems a pretty ballsy move.
It is, and this is a problem that eats its way upward. So it also creates, I think, a problem for Marvel and DC. They're trying to get new books out, and they're also their lower tier, their bottom half is getting lost in the shuffle as well. I think, Marvel may say, "Hey, here's a new character, and we think it's going to be aimed at a new demographic, and that's great." Except they're competing with 400 other books. And again, most retail shops, because it is so tight, are going to order the guaranteed top selling.
Of course. That is the same. But that's the same. Isn't that the same shitty paradigm we had with the direct market? It's just smaller, right?
Pretty much. Yeah, it's a bad cycle that it gets in. It really feeds nobody. And the big missing element, the question mark for me with everybody continues to be, if you're one of these companies, how are you supposed to market your book? How are you, what are you doing? And most puzzling, when I see the publishers kind of, outsource that effort to the creators, like it's just the place where they're bleeding out is being able to get some recognition out on their titles. And it's just, I don't know, it's not going to happen at this level. So.
And another thing about that too is that, and I've noticed this across the board, sadly, it isn't even just comic books, where there is a certain amount of like, well, you can do that on your social media accounts. You can do this. And I'm like, not everyone's equipped to do that. Like, people end up in the jobs they end up in. It's not like every writer, or even most writers, or even any sort of significant number of writers are also graphic designers, are also, filmmakers of any kind, are also illustrators. And conversely, the other people who do those other specialized jobs are also not writers, are also not, this other thing. And yet these large companies who could simply spend a little bit more money on their marketing and advertising to have a dedicated division just for that, you know, they're leaning increasingly on the creatives to sort of go out there and thrash it out for yourself. These are people who are not equipped or trained to do so. Like, it's just a weird failing paradigm that I don't understand.
It's a problem, and it is why I think Joe and I interviewed a team yesterday who has a crowdfunded book come out. It should be fun. That'll go up before the 14th, and just very, very kind of different interview. And Kari sent the team our way, which I appreciate. But it's why I think crowdfunding does seem more straightforward for a lot of people, because you know what you have to own, you know what you have to market, you know it's in your control. And so when you look at this picture and you see all these titles and how you're going to try and vie for attention with 400 other books, it does get much more straightforward if you own the whole channel. But
right, and I think with crowdfunding, even though I don't participate because that's so much fucking work, the thing is that you're cultivating your own pet audience. You're creating people or finding people who like what you like. So theoretically, if the product is in line with what both you and they like, they will fund your crowdfunded thing. And then if you can keep it up, cyclically keep it up, then you're sort of you're like a storefront instead of a giant mega corporation. But you have a dedicated clientele who's going to come buy your donuts instead of buying the big Shishi donuts down the street, because you make them right. You make the best pizza in New York, right? I, again, don't know that most creatives are equipped with the kind of brain to make that paradigm work. Like, you need other skill sets that aren't just making shit. You know,
it's some different things. It's an interesting paradigm. Kind of moving to here real quick. We could go through it because it's fun this week. So next week, 96 books. Again, somewhat of a nightmare.
Holy crap.
Next week, 26 different publishers, 20 #1 issues. So just a little bit more than 1/5 of the books are #1 issues next week.
Oh, God damn it.
Super fun.
Okay.
It is crazy. Yeah. So anyway, here we go. So coming out next week, you know, one of Joe's favorite here, Zombie Tramp. It's still going.
Me.
Hey, what are they up to now? I'm talking about the issue number.
Because we know what they're up to.
Yeah.
Oh, we know. 83. Oh my God.
Well, someone's buying the damn thing.
They don't look attached. I guess she's a zombie, so that
she is a zombie.
They could fall off.
I should have thought that out before.
They're all friends together. The three of them are friends. That's what it is.
That's they're a team.
Yeah, they are a team. They are a team.
Yeah.
The three of them make up Zombie. What is it? Zombie
Tramp. Yeah.
Zombie Tramp. Yeah. Zombie Tramp is really a conglomerate. It isn't. Which one of us could ever really be Zombie Tramp?
It's a team book.
It is a team book. It's a team book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's going to take a team to.
Yes, it will. I do. You know, there's still some of this out there. You know, I still like the title, and it actually is a pretty good book. The You Promised Me Darkness, which to me it's a solid title. It's still, to me, sounds like somebody's pissed. Like you promised me darkness, but you gave me this shit.
How dare you?
I read the first issue of that one. It was fine.
No, it's a pretty good book.
I gotta find after issue 1 because I got like a second.
Actually, a FemForce book. There's a FemForce book out.
There is a FemForce book out there. By the way, I will nudge. So thank you, for dropping by, Ethan. I know you have a lot going on, so I appreciate you spending a few minutes here with us.
But oh God, I wanted to make a joke. I can't make it. I'll tell you two what my joke was after. I can't.
I cannot wait for this. It's too dark for the room. Holy shit!
Yo.
Zombie Tramp brings it out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No. That's
well. That should be her subtitle. That's like a whole. That's the name of an arc right there.
It's yeah. Okay. So I will review Zombie Tramp. Sure. Why not?
Well, all joking aside, though, what number is it at? 83?
No, 83. It's one of the, like, there.
Somebody's buying it. Somebody's fucking buying it.
Absolutely.
So, great. More power to them.
Much higher numbers than almost anything else Marvel is publishing. I will just throw that out there.
There you go. Anything else Marvel is publishing?
There you have it. Well, we'll move on to this.
Marvel Comics Zombie Tramp. I don't know. That's not ever happening.
Then American Mythology is going for a very different direction.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Wait, is that a modesty bar there that I'm looking at?
It is, yes. Yes, it is.
Kids, come on.
This is what happens when the team turns south on you.
You know. Okay. I mean, again, I don't know. What's the number? 1?
This is number 1, yeah.
It's a way to go. It's not going to make me pick it up, but it's a way to go.
What do you suppose Hyper Thick is about? Because I have ideas.
Well, I'm going to guess asses just off the top.
Yeah, that's I think discussing Hyperthick is something that people should stick to their bedrooms and not come out publicly about it.
I'm gonna say.
It's on one hand, I'm pleased to see Dark Horse putting a lot of comics out because I have a lot of fun memories of Dark Horse for the years. On the other hand, again, like almost all of these are like there's nothing in double digits here. It's all
Well, okay, so. From a creative side, I always thought that a lot of these concepts really can't sustain ongoings, but they could sustain like biannual 5-issue runs.
Yeah.
Right, where the original Birds of Prey, the younglings don't remember, was a series of miniseries, and it did so well that ultimately it was greenlit as a series. And these are characters that were second tier at best. Like Batgirl was the big lead, and she was Oracle at the time, and it got popular enough with the miniseries releases that it was justified to make it into an ongoing. But this sort of like, let's restart the ongoing and hope it sticks. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not in those offices, but it seems to me the track record is not good on that.
No, not at all. But we also get Barbara on it. It brings us to, I know your favorite part of the whole stream here. What's Dynamite up to?
It's like Christmas in July.
It's Christmas in July. Barbarella, number 1.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
that's all right.
It's some butts.
All of those are cheesecake, legitimate cheesecake. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Well, this is how Nick hangs in there with that coming. But Barbarella, number 1. Yeah, I'm the gun that she's holding is very distracting to me, and I know it's a very weird.
Well,
gun.
Wait. You see, wait, there's 2 Red Sonjas and 2 Barbarellas. So which Barbarella's gun are you talking about?
Well, the one that looks like it probably is a vibrator. Yeah.
Yeah, the photo one. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this comic is almost certainly not for me. But you can't, certainly the one in red is beautifully painted.
Oh yeah,
so
and Barbarella's got a built-in fan base. The reader has cred. I think.
She is Barbarella. Barbarella is what you're looking at. Like what you're going to get. This is a proper advertisement for Barbarella.
Yeah.
I have no complaints about that or the 2 Red Sonja covers. They don't seem exploitative to me. They're cheesecake. They're almost classic cheesecake. So go for it.
No, it's not like that Jungle Fantasy book, which had the camera angle
fucking A.
From the feet.
Jesus Christ with that shit.
Yeah. No, it does. It looks like Red Sonja is slapping her ass with that axe.
You don't know. You don't know what gets people off. Leave people alone.
She could be.
Maybe that's her thing.
Yeah, most of these covers are very much like, I got to see what happens immediately after this.
Yeah.
What is she doing with that long stick? Anyway.
What is she about to do?
What's she about to do?
Where does it go?
Oh my God!
I think we're about to see a magic trick.
Then they lost me. They had to keep going. They saw where the line was. We all saw where the fucking line was. But no, you 2 assholes had to go right over it for no reason.
Don't spoil the trick.
Oh my God!
A magician never reveals her secrets. I'm just saying.
And nor does the donkey, apparently.
Yeah.
See what you did there?
Yes.
You see what you did there? You pulled me over the fucking line with you. You
There
sons
you
of bitches. You drunk motherfucker.
That's the best. Well, all right. So DC, we are, I think somebody mentioned in the chat earlier, we are 2 weeks away from I Am Not Starfire, I believe, which I know people are going to have fun with.
Wait a minute. Didn't that already come out? I thought people already lost their minds about it.
No. There's everything. Comics now have two outrage moments. You get the announcement and then you get the shipping, and then everybody forgets about it.
Oh, fuck me. You mean the book didn't even come out?
No.
And everybody lost their shit?
Yeah.
We just had the first dose. There's another dose coming.
Fuck off.
Technically, you get the announcement, then you get the shipping, and then you get the shipping.
Yeah. That's
God.
God damn.
Oh my God.
Can't wait. The
So much
title
fun.
the title is available for pre-sale on Amazon, and I suspect the conclusion to that story is going to be a lot of people got angry and nobody, it didn't really matter because not many people bought it.
Yeah.
That seems to be where it is.
Yeah.
Their YA department had an interesting start, but really the only shining light coming out of there continues to be Primer.
Yeah.
And yeah, it continues to be like that book.
Yeah.
Still, I think, in the top 10 over on Amazon, but
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, I Am Not Starfire on Amazon is currently at the 259,522nd in books. So yeah.
God damn. I mean,
I think that amounts to one or two titles sold a week?
So, about, yeah.
Okay.
wow. I feel like then, it still falls back down to the same exact thing, which is, if it's not for me, I'm not buying it. It doesn't mean it's not for somebody, and it doesn't mean it shouldn't get made. But we shouldn't pretend that this is some sort of, here's the new direction, this is the cutting edge, this is where it's all going, because it's clearly not that. Like, call it what it actually is, whatever that is, and build off of it or not according to sales.
Yeah.
How
I know. I mean, I think this is going to be a lot of noise about what will turn out to be very little. Kind of. I mean, Nubia, for all the noise around it, it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But
no,
anyway.
I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it was an error to try and sell things via politics, left or right. I think at the end of the day, especially in terms of this kind of artwork, the thing has to sell itself. So I don't think that the artwork on Nubia was ever going to be the thing that was going to put asses in seats. Doesn't mean it's bad art, but it's very specific art.
Yeah.
What is that? The old sort of Zap comics, the underground, the true underground comics like that. If there was an audience like that now, they'd probably be all over it. But I don't know that audience currently exists.
Yeah, I agree. And this is a bunch of people ask me this, who I think will be the new ongoing Captain America writer when that book comes back. I think it will be Cantwell. I think that he will transition from this limited series into the ongoing title. That's just my prediction. We'll see. I had heard that Priest was in the running for it, but apparently not anymore.
Oh, man, I'd kill to see that. That would be awesome.
That would be great. And I feel so bad because I don't know Chris Cantwell. I'm sure he's a wonderful person. I'm sure he loves his wife.
This is not going to end well.
That he does good work. But and I haven't checked out Blue Flame at Vault, and that might be great. But Iron Man and his Cap stuff so far is so truly awful that I just can't.
Oh my God.
If we're 3 or 4 issues into that run and everyone's like, dude, you got to check it out, of course I will. But right. As it stands right now, I can't. I hate it. And
I have no data. That's
fine. And I just feel bad because it's so hard to talk about these things because it's not personal in the least. Like it really isn't. And
No, I'm with you. I think this is like people are saying, he separate the art from the artist. I've heard a lot of very nice things about him in terms of how he is with other people and kind of very professional and just a lot of very positive comments on a regular basis. That said, that Iron Man book is I miss Iron Man 2020.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It was such an awful Iron Man book. And part of the problem is what we were saying before, because it's just retreading the same stuff. It's Iron Man, you have a lot of money, but you're not helping enough people. Oh no, I need more vices because whatever. And it's I'm just done with it.
No, it looks like the solicitations coming up are going to give us another retread into the alcohol situation again. And I mean, it's just, I don't know. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, celebrating issue 100.
I have no opinion.
It's ponies.
I just don't.
Yeah.
I have no opinion.
Very good. All right. We'll get through this a little bit faster here. Like I said, a lot of things from Image next week. Die. What is it you said, Joe, that you read an interview where Kieran Gillian was kind of regrets the name choice?
Yeah, he tweeted about it. He basically was like, in the future, I'm going to make sure that I name my comic something that's easy for people to find.
That's
because if you Google Die, it's not the first thing that comes up.
Interesting.
And and I get it, because you want a name that's going to stand out, and one word names are really, you feel good when you came up with a comic that's like a one word name and you're like, I got it. But then sometimes it's not that easy. Like Saga really lucked out in that it was a big hit. If it wasn't, that would not be an easily Googleable comic.
That's true.
Wah, wah, wah.
Ninjak coming back. There's been a lot of talk about that. That train looks like a yeah, it looks like there's a hentai octopus tentacle coming to get him.
Wow. It's that, or it looks like fan art for like I don't know, like a Ticket to Ride board game.
You guys are so mean.
like Ticket to Ride with like ninjas. I would play Ticket to Ride with ninjas.
Ooh, is this a variant cover for the one we've all been seeing?
All the covers coming out. I think this is one of the variants, but the main cover doesn't look like what we've been seeing either. So it's you are getting that on the interior, but the covers. I think, regardless of what's going on social media, I do think there's going to be some whiplash and irritation with people who the covers bear no resemblance to the interior artist.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it depends. Sometimes that's fine. It depends on who the cover is and it depends on the split, right? If it's super cartoony and super realistic in either way, then you may have some problems.
Yeah. It's anyway. And then we have the girl who electrified Tesla, which continues to hang in there. So everybody.
Is that's that book company that's making comics now?
Yes, that's
Hard Case. Yeah. They rejected one of my novels, the bastards.
Oh, those bastards.
They were bastards.
Whatever. It was a very nice rejection letter. I still have it around here somewhere. It was probably the nicest one I've ever gotten. Let's see, Marvel Champions.
This is really damning of what Marvel has coming out when you're having a Hard Case comic next to
but, could be in a dick.
It's like, but Aliens Aftermath. What the hell's that?
It's the Aftermath.
Issue 1, Aftermath of Aliens. So of movie 2. Okay. There's a fan base for it.
The Extreme Carnage series is going. We're well into that, and we're also have the Sinister War kicks off in Spider-Man. In way
now that we know, like here's something though with this now, like the way comics news gets reported and everything. Since we all know that Spencer's run is ended, it's ending prematurely. He is leaving. it takes the wind out of the sails for me to even bother with the rest of it.
Weird.
You know, I feel like a lot of people, like if a book is really, really good and you know that there's a defined ending,
right?
That's one thing. But knowing that Nick Spencer's cutting his run short and leaving.
That's my question. That was my question. Yeah. He's not going to finish it out. He's just going to wrap it up and go.
Yeah.
It sounds like it. Yeah. It sounds like he's speeding to the conclusion ahead of plan. So
that's not impossible.
Yeah, so it makes it tough to be like, do I even want to bother if it's just being rushed and ended for a run that's like solid, but it's not like definitive. Yeah, I don't know. I've been enjoying Spider-Man Spider's Shadow more.
Yeah, that's a good series. That's the part of their new What If line, and they're going to do these 5-issue,
right?
I guess ongoing. But that one's been quite fun.
People like it. I am. As much as I love the Prowler, I'm just not that giant of a Spidey fan. So I'm not following any of this stuff with any regularity. I generally jump on based on the artist rather than the writer.
That's fair.
I got to ask both of you. This is a great question. So, Geoff, let's say you're brought in to do what you're doing with X-Men. Who are you killing? And Joe, who are you murdering?
But you saw me on Twitter, Perch. I got in trouble with that. I feel there's way too many mutants. Remember? I said Wanda was right. So
I remember that you did a video on it.
People lost their shit about it, but
that outrage was years ago.
It feels like years anyway. I'd kill almost all of them. So good. I would go through them like a freaking hot knife through a field of butter. There would be so few mutants left by the time I was done that my name would be synonymous with Armageddon when it came to mutants. They would be like, "Oh dear God, not another Thorne event." Would be what it would be like, which is why I'll never get to write any of the past.
Any particular ones you want to murder off there, Joe?
I feel like most of them. Like
I would leave Scott
just kind of. I'm trying to think. Like, just pick a year and just be like, every mutant created after like 1988 or whatever. Fuck it. They never existed. Kill them all and we'll rebuild. But
straight up. I'm with you, brother. That's great.
Yeah.
It was great. Somewhere in the middle of Claremont's run, everything after the middle of Claremont's run, you're all nonsensical. You need to all go. I'm sorry. And there's some nice ones.
Yeah.
Look at this. Kill the original 5. How about that? Rip the weed up by the root.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about it, and it's a weird sort of existential thing with that concept. It's a flawed concept because it stretched too far because they let the most prolific X writer stay on it too long, and they have too many mutants. Mutants should be rare, and they should be scary as hell to a normal human. There should be something about mutants that when they're just standing next to you before they use any powers or anything, you just should feel like, ooh, shit, what's that? You know, and they should be on the run a lot because there's not a lot of them. And the only thing that saves them is that they are incredibly powerful beings individually. Instead, what we have is a planet of them or a nation of them. And it feels good in the moment, but conceptually, it just kills the concept. Yeah. Also, they used to be called, I know there's a book out called that now, but they're all supposed to be post-atomic bomb. All of these people were all supposed to be born after the first atomic bomb test, which means you don't get Apocalypse, right? You don't get Selene. You don't get any of those ancient freaking characters that were mutants back in the day, which, you know, they're great for one story, but they're crap for the concept because they don't make sense in the Marvel universe. How can you tell a difference between, I've said this a million times, Ben Grimm gets to walk around New York and people treat him like a celebrity, but Colossus is hunted and feared? What?
Yeah.
It makes no fucking sense.
And now, so how about, well, I won't make you answer this one, but this is,
good luck, Galactus.
We'll just let that go without comment there.
We got a Phoenix. What you got?
Yeah.
We got 2 Phoenixes. What do you got?
We do have 2 Phoenixes. Yeah, we can do anything we want. Real quick, Michael comes on regularly. As a creator, he asks, I have a lot of trouble getting editors or creators to look at my stuff. People keep telling me just start a YouTube to build an audience. Is this the best way still? I'm not sure, Michael. I mean, so it takes forever to get going with YouTube, and it's I don't know if that's the best way. It's a way.
Illustrator.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you if you're a writer or an illustrator? I don't recall. I know you've told us before, actually, but
part of the problem is like it's a great idea to start a channel, build an audience, if that's what you want to do. If you're doing it because you want to do something else, eventually that's going to show through, and it's going to be difficult to actually build, and you're going to end up hurting yourself. Because people are going to be like, why would I want to do this when there's this, guy who's like got a channel, put out a few videos, and then like you see this a lot where, put out some videos for a few weeks and then less and less, and then the channel's dead. It's like, unless you're really committing to it. But if committing to a channel is going to take away from, working on the art, I mean, what I see artists do, which again, do it if it's what you want to do, is they build up social media followings through fan art.
Yeah.
So you see that a lot where, like, ooh, everyone's talking about He-Man today. I'm going to do a quick, like, or I'm going to do a really nice He-Man sketch, or, oh, I did a He-Man sketch a few months ago. Let me post that. And just follow the trending hashtags and stuff like that to get some attention, build up interest. Like I see that a lot, and I've seen that work for people.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not even a good illustrator, and over the last little while, I would say the last couple of years, I just post my fun stuff that I do, and I get offers that I have to turn down, and I'm nowhere near good enough to be getting offers to turn down. So.
It's as an illustrator, I think these are great suggestions. I think Eric Canetti is doing a really good job of building a nice audience organically, where he comes on and he has a kind of a set schedule, but he draws, he talks, but it doesn't feel like it's a chore for him. It feels like he's just kind of turned on the camera and is doing his thing. And I think that's to Joe's point. I mean, I just wanted to drink, and then this channel has erupted from that. And you can all tell I don't care about the channel. I just want to drink. So
yeah.
People told me they're like, oh, you're just fake humble with the growth, but I honestly have no idea how I got the subscribers I have, and neither does Mumbles. Both of us are confused. So
well, I mean, if Grim Fairy Tales, Grim Fairy Tales from Zenoscope is at 50, and this isn't even the first time it's hit 50,
right?
Then you can have 20 something K subs. Why not?
Yeah, it's sure. I mean, whatever you got to do. It's all good. It's confusing. But anyway, manga, we'll go kind of quick. Again, like it's every week, you've got the Invincible Shovel.
Okay.
I think I've mixed up. I've got these confused. So I apologize, because I think the title under the Invincible Shovel is pretty awesome, but this title above it is "Didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life?" Cool. That's just some great stuff. This one, though, is one of my favorites for a couple ones. Inside Mari is very intriguing.
Okay.
The maid I recently hired is mysterious.
Okay.
I like the teaser.
Wait, the great Jahi will not be defeated.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. There's my beautiful battle angel.
Yeah, and Battle Angel is awesome.
God bless her. God bless her forever.
Yeah. No, some good stuff. These all are just manga, probably some ecchi content in here, but I don't think any of these are hentai. I think Square Enix is publishing The Great Jahi Will Not Be Defeated. So,
cool.
I'm almost going to see that movie just no matter what it's about, just because of the title.
No, I love it. But anyway, it's some great stuff. But I wanted to do this. So this is a fun one. So I used this panel earlier, and I'm hoping you guys can do this little journey with me. Do you remember this comic? Because we're going to show how we got here.
Yes. Luke Cage did a job, and he got stiffed, so he went to get his money from Dr. Frickin' Doom and did not care.
And so let's look at what that looks like, because this is an awesome panel here. I do love the balls of Luke Cage. He is not intimidated at all by anything going on here.
Nope.
I also like Doom. When my men report a crazy black man in a Fantastic Four, I knew it had to be you.
Who else would be driving that car?
This is some good stuff. So here we can walk you through this because this is kind of fun. So these are the two comics it comes from, which 8 and 9, Luke Cage, Hero for Hire. And this was a fun comic at the time. Going back and grabbing these, this was pretty hilarious. I don't know. Luke Cage was a lot of fun back then. They're not doing this comic now, but I would easily buy this comic today.
Well, I mean, yeah, these were fun times. The 70s were fun for comics all across the board, I would say. Marvel trying to do their blaxploitation, ride along. But they did a solid job of it. There's nothing truly offensive in any of the Hero for Hire stuff. I mean, it certainly wasn't played for laughs. It was like, you gonna give me my goddamn money, Dr. Doom. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah, and Billy Graham was a prominent black inker at the time, and apparently, collaborated with Steve Englehart on some of the plots. So
nice.
These comics are weird. I need to pull it for the next time. I wasn't gonna. The letters page for this, and then also what was the comic that Blade was in at the time?
Tomb of Dracula.
Tomb of Dracula. Yeah. So little known fact. So that Marvel would publish incredibly racist letters of people complaining about the main characters, and then Marvel would respond, "You're a jackass." Like it's actually amazing. Like there was several months where things were being put with like super offensive, like racist words in there. And Marvel would be like, I thought I'd never seen a stupider. I mean, it's just like there was a whole back and forth going on. It was absolutely nuts. But anyway, this comic. So Luke Cage is pissed, and what I love about this is somebody's trying to hire him to do a job. This guy comes up and just tries to stab him, and Luke Cage just murders him on the street.
As one does.
He is like throughout this whole comic. So Dr. Doom shows up, and Luke Cage has been fighting these robots, and Doom basically says there's some out of control robots in America disguised as black men, and he wants Luke Cage to go take it out. So he basically Doom hires Cage to go take out all these robots.
Right.
Yeah. And so Luke Cage proceeds to do that and just beat up everything, but then finds out that Doom skips town without paying him. And it's like $200. So
that's why it's funny. That's the reason it's funny.
It is hilarious that Luke Cage gets super angry, and you do get the sense Cage is about to go murder Doom here.
Oh hell yeah! I want my goddamn money. What do you mean? That's $200 fucking dollars.
It is. It just kills. So in our second issue, Luke Cage continuing through this he goes to the Fantastic Four, borrows a flying car, and Reed's like, "You're gonna go beat up Dr. Doom? All right, that's
cool. I'm all in."
Yeah, I love how
I'm here for that.
Reed attempts to kind of make it like, you're honest and honorable. But Luke Cage has basically told him, I would like to borrow your flying car so I can beat the crap out of Doom.
There's a guy who runs another country. He owes me $200. Can I have your high-tech traveling device so I can go there and beat the shit out of him for my $200? Yeah, sure, we're good with it. Go on.
Yeah, so they and nobody goes along with it. They just let him have the car. And Cage proceeds to go to Latvernia and just beat the shit out of everyone. Like he's just mowing through everybody. And finally, Doom shows up, and it's a robot Doom. This is real Doom. And Doom is just kind of like, you're an idiot. And he's like, what are you even doing? And this is where this panel comes from. And the next panel is like, your money. What?
Are you insane? He literally says,
you gave me $200. You're crazy. And Luke Cage proceeds to legit start to beat the shit out of him. Like
he whips that ass. You damn right. God damn.
It is hilarious because he's like breaking off parts of Doom's armor, and he gets Doom to the point of like, okay. Doom's like, all right, And you do get the sense that Doom was taken off guard, and he might have unleashed some tough shit on Luke. But Luke earns his respect by beating the crap out of him. So, yeah, I do like. How much did Reed's fuel cost? More than $200, but okay.
I think he's leaving that to Reed to take care of.
That is true. So he basically, Doom pulls some cash out of his cape.
Ah, of course. Where else would you store it? Where else would you store your cash if you're Dr. Doom?
He gives him that cash, and then he basically points Cage to kind of the secret escape tunnel out of the castle, and there you have it. That's what went on there. But anyway, so
gold.
There you have it.
Gold.
It was two very fun issues, and so it brings to this. So if they're going to do a Luke Cage series today, a new one, who's on that book? What do you guys? What are your picks?
I already have my artist for that one.
Yeah,
I don't know if he counts as past or present though. You tell me, and I'll pick the other one. Jason Pearson writing and drawing.
Oh, that would be great. That's probably we'll call that. I don't know. He's still active. I don't.
I don't know. Is he done
doing that right now? So
I would kill to get him on a book. Oh my god. So are we calling him present talent?
Well, sure. Let's call him present. So.
All right. While I'm thinking Joe can go, I have to think about the past a bit.
Yeah. What do you do for Luke Cage?
It's tough, but I don't know what approach I'd go with. Oh, damn it! I was just gonna say Damian Scott. You bastard. Because I'm a big Damian Scott fan. I got him to draw Emerald Empress for me at a con a few years back. And I think he'd be great. It would be a different approach, but he was the person I thought of. So I'm glad Yule and I are on the same page at least, but damn it.
Jeff's gonna go like it. I would like Pepe Larraz to take a shot at it.
Ooh, nice.
He's done the cosmic stuff, but I would like to see a serious take. I'd like for somebody to try to put out a Luke Cage book that is, it's not like Luke Cage decides to take care of some business around the street. Let's get something significant here.
I might go with Mike Grell for writer and artist on the past.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Grell would crush
I think he'd eat that like a beautiful lunch. Paul Mooney!
Paul Mooney and John Romita Jr.
Nobody's ready for that.
Damn. I think I really like that guy Amazian too. He did the Muhammad Ali book at Dark Horse, and he also did that Standard Attica book. And I got to work with him on the Mine anthology. He illustrated the Denny O'Neil story I had in there. He'd be good, especially for like more serious kind of tone on it.
No, not Bill Cosby. Jesus.
Oh, fuck off. No. Yikes.
Carl Potts, Dennis Cohen. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like that. I think Carl Potts would be great doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hal Jordan writing a Gambit on the art. What?
Sure. Why not?
Wait.
David Simon.
Joe Mad could crush it too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to see that style with Cage. Somebody's asking, I guess, it's Mumbles. They're not just somebody.
Whenever you say that, I have to say, fuck you, Mumbles. It's like a drinking game with me at this point.
Where Luke Cage, it's, they put a lot of effort into building up Luke Cage, and then it seemed like right about the time the Netflix series came out, they decided to abandon it completely.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like that might be our downfall of corporate shenanigans. Basically, the fighting going on between the Feige camp and the oh my god, of course, Darwin Cook, perfect for anything.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like Cage got caught in the switches. Basically, They had a great show. It was hugely successful, popular. It would be stupid not to push it. I think that people were getting mad at me because of my stance on whether or not DC missed the trick by putting Hal in the first movie instead of John. They were like, "Oh, black people wouldn't just line up, right, to go see that movie because this guy was in it." And I was like, only comic book people knew who the hell Luke Cage was. Only we knew who Luke Cage was. Netflix announced the Luke Cage show, and their servers got destroyed on opening night.
Yeah.
So that tells you what the popularity, what the appetite is. But I don't think Marvel/Disney either understood that or wishes to honor the success of the previous administration, right?
Yeah.
Like in our business, in our side of the business, the new guy does not want the successes of the old guy to rack up because he gets no credit. And if it fails, you get all the blame. So yes, McDuffie Cook, perfect.
Here's
perfect.
Here's one. Here's something a little out of left field. What if, I love the combination of like Dennis Cowan and Bill Sienkiewicz on art,
right?
With Grant Morrison writing.
Whoa!
Sure.
Wait, what's the other? No, Garth Ennis. Don't you think Garth Ennis is the guy?
Garth Ennis would be.
Well, here's the thing. Garth Ennis would be great, but what the fuck would Grant do?
Oh my God, I don't even know what that book would be. Like
exactly, I don't know what it would be. I kind of know what Garth. If you got if you did a past creators and you got Garth and Steve Dillon,
woo!
That would be great.
For that.
I know what that book would be like. But,
I'm here for that book. I'm definitely here for that book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing because he always comes so hard. I shouldn't say he. They come so hard from the left all the time that you don't know what you would get. It would be worth it just to see. Frankly, I would buy that just to see.
Cage would become a human Cage. That would be Morrison's take.
I think David Simon would be a good writer for it. I think any of the Wire writers could do a solid Cage book.
Sure.
Anyway, it's a character I think Marvel should do more.
I agree with you. I mean, I have pitches on all those kind of characters, but the company has to want to do them, and I have to have the time, So I don't know why he's in limbo. I just don't know.
I think it is the case where I think you guys hit on earlier, people in the chat. I think it was, we could find out that Luke Cage was fathering all the children as well.
Oh, dear God. City of Sweet Christmas.
It is. I think that because Marvel didn't have the ownership they wanted on those Netflix shows, there was a deprioritization of all of them. And Tom King writing as Cage is a moody teenage girl. Okay.
I mean, I'm here for that. I would read one issue of that just to test it out.
Steve Curry, LeBron on art. Oh, okay.
LeBron?
Hey,
Steph Curry? I barely know those names, and only because of Space Jam.
Yeah, I don't know what that would look like at all, but okay. Anyway, good stuff. Good stuff. Lots of opinions on Luke Cage. All right. So we'll do this kind of quickly. Fine. This comic is another one like so. Joe and I did that elf cover where Elf was clearly raping that seal.
Yes.
And what's funny?
Pardon me.
Again, there were some angry people in that, right, Joe? Like there were some people. There's some hardcore Elf fans who came out of the woodwork to say that we were wrong. I mean,
there were so many.
It's a joke.
It is, but he was also raping that seal. Let's be honest.
Also, the whole he eats cats thing was a straight up pussy joke. Let's all grow up, folks.
Yes, it was, and if you didn't watch that video, I mean, the second story in there did have Alf going up against the Nazi food party.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah terrible. Anyway, this does look like Superman's about to do the dirty to this kid, though. That is,
or already did, and he's about to go home.
Yeah.
Like the kid's crying, like, Jesus Christ. Is that anticipatory or post-coital? Like, goddamn.
It could go either way. Superman does seem pleased with himself, though. So
he was a smug dick back then.
Yeah, he knew what he'd done.
Yeah, and did not care.
All right, how about this?
There's no way that's an accident.
Yeah, I'm with you, sister.
This is
well played, Joe.
Hey.
This is not that old. of a panel. So this was not like from the 40s in some romance comic. So I don't know.
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way that's an accident. There's just no freaking way.
And there's no romance there. Those are two hungry ladies.
Yeah. That other lady, is that Lois?
No. The two random women.
Yeah, she's not disagreeing in even the slightest way because they're not talking about some man named Richard. That's why.
I agree. I think this is definitely intentional with the phrasing, and which I won't. Yeah, she's very confident. This is a little hard to read. Here's another one. Archie loves with the turn of phrase. How about this?
Oh, come on! That's on purpose.
I agree. This has to be on purpose, right?
There's no way. These are adults making these books. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah, she's expecting a pearl necklace. I think this has to be intentional.
Well, the fact that they highlight it, so like they bold it so hard like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, in fairness, she can get the frisbee and the pearl necklace. I mean, he has enough weight.
I didn't get to the pearl necklace part off the bat. So, I'm reading that first bubble, and I'm like, oh, is it going to be something about flipping? And I'm like, oh, no, the pearl necklace.
Well, here we are. This is where
that's it. That's where we're going. Not flip anyway.
I just picture some really bored writers and artists going, "Oh fuck, more Archie and Veronica." All right, put in an X-rated joke for the grown-up.
It has to be. I know. I think this is definitely intentional. How about real quickly back on the Cage subject? I can never pronounce his name properly. The Tarkovsky.
Oh, Gendy Tarkovsky. Yeah.
How did you like that series? Did you read it?
Meh.
Yeah.
I mean, it was retro. Is generally not my thing. Like regardless of how well it's done. So he did a retro Cage. It was a retro Cage. I didn't think it was necessarily bad. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah, I did expect to like it more. I wound up. I did appreciate the retro aspect to it, but I was kind of after all the hype, and it took a long time to get out. I don't know. It wasn't as cool as I thought it was going to be, but it was still still something. How about this series of panels here?
Oh, come on. There's no way. There's no way that's accidental.
Yeah, so with this, I think they're making a joke, but what tilts it and feels like this isn't unintentional is it's him rolling up the sleeve.
Yeah. They could have drawn a paddle of some kind to imply that he was spanking her with, what are those fraternity paddles or a tennis racket or something, but no. So the implication is not that he's paddling her. Let's just put it like that.
No, and he's making a fist, and they've drawn the dress kind of floating or kind of hovering up there.
Yes. And I mean, elbow deep without prepping, like my God.
Oh my God! Right.
That's just how do you?
Why are you rolling your sleeves up at all for a spanking?
There's so much.
God damn it!
If he's rolling up elbow deep, that's not enough hours.
Oh, you don't know how often this happens.
That's fair.
Lulu took a lot back in that time.
Also, I hate you both again. I have to figure a way to steam clean my brain now because of this shit.
This is the best rookie move. You don't start with a fist. That's fair. Yeah.
Well, you don't know what starts with the fist. You start with knuckle. Anyway, I won't.
Oh dear God.
Yeah. That's important. I can get behind.
That's
Anyway, a lot. That's okay. So we're going intentional for everything this week. That's
oh my God.
That's where it's at. This may be a little hard to see. So I grabbed this letter, and I like the there's this idea that toxic fans only exist and complain about things. But here is, dear gentlemen, I'm just writing to inform you, in case you don't already know, that the artwork for Batman Year One Part 1 was atrocious.
No.
You should be ashamed of yourselves for releasing such trash. I've seen better work on Hagar the Horrible.
No, you haven't. That's a lie.
I do like how they pulled out. I mean, of all the things to point to. Okay.
Yeah. Why are we throwing Hagar under the bus? What did he do to anybody?
Where do you get off charging 75 cents for that shit? It's been a long time since I bought a comic book, and I think it'll be a long time till I do so again. And when I do, I'll be sure to make mine Marvel.
Wow. Well, I would say Mr. Dwayne entirely misses the bus. Yeah. All buses passed him that day. That is a beautiful piece of work by a gifted artist, and he just don't get it. Yeah, that was Mumbles. You know that was Mumbles.
It is crazy to be bashing one of the best we ever had.
Yeah,
like that. Like,
it's also I continue to think it's bizarre that the complete address was posted of like if you like Batman, you could go find this guy.
Yeah, but isn't he sort of saying, "Come find me"? Don't they have to ask you if we're allowed to publish your address? Isn't there some law about that? Or did they just do it?
I spent a lot of time in Astoria too, so I'm pretty sure I know about where that
is. I like how comics were just doxing people.
Anyway, you know what's funny? Is someone reads it now. They find this guy now. They knock on his door. He opens the door, and somebody just fucking nails him.
I have to believe that back in the 80s, like some people did go, like they would go find this guy. William's saying it's not weird. They publish addresses all the time. No, that's not the weird part. You're right. They did publish address all the time, but that is weird.
It's weird to publish the address for someone saying something inflammatory.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're doxing him.
It's weird. By the way, the PS to this letter continues. PS, turn to page 4 and guess who you've unwittingly drawn in the lower right-hand box. Give up. It's Gregory Peck, you idiots.
Oh my God.
By the way, I think Batman is a great character and can be a great comic book when it is handled with competence. Bet I won't see this letter in your Bat Signals column.
Oh, that guarantees you a place of honor. What do you mean? Yeah. Oh my God. I'm sure they were howling with laughter over this.
Oh yeah, no, I mean this is the same. Like I said, it's no joke. We'll put it in the when we come back live again, coming in the future. But there was all these letters printed in Luke Cage and Tomb of Dracula. Like when I say racist, I mean like Truly. They were throwing in the terms, not the terms you think, much worse terms.
Oh sure,
and Marvel was publishing it like
yeah. Here's this asshole. Go find him. Here's his address.
Yeah, with the person's address. Again, it feels like I don't know. Yeah, thanks, Max. We'll get to the bottom of it.
Kevin Dwayne has a podcast.
Max is looking him up.
Jesus
Dwayne
Christ!
Has a podcast.
Somebody's gonna find this guy. They're gonna beat this down and say, "Music Kelly, bitch." And then walk away.
It was
what the fuck was that?
Yeah. I bet if you find Kevin Dwayne will say something like, "I prefer Asteria's Power."
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It was a simpler time when trolling was just right. It was everything was on the level. It's
I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
And they knew nobody was going to come to their house for sure. Like, who would do that?
Go find the guy, you'll do a.
Oh, please don't do that. Do not do that. Do not do that. Do not do that. Don't laugh, Perch. That's their evil villain laugh. Don't do that. Nobody do that.
It's no. Of course, no. We're not encouraging any violence here, of course. But
that's right.
It's amazing that this stuff's just all out there. But anyway. All right. Well,
I agree, y'all. I wish that we still had letters pages. I do wish we still had letters pages.
No, me too. I think that stuff was great. But like I said, Marvel, every now and then there will be letter pages, or champions would retweet tweets or would publish tweets, but they're always they're terrible. Like they're just gross.
You got to do the whole thing because some of the funnier ones are the ones that are mean, Like that last one was hysterical.
Yeah,
I think Marvel would weirdly gain a lot of credit if they publish this hate mail in the back. I think people would like that. So
yeah,
Yeah, Kevin may have been 12 at the time, but it's not too late to destroy it.
Oh my God! Do not destroy him.
Oh.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. But crazy.
God damn it!
Yeah,
Comes from the past. Comics from the past that came out this week.
yeah, we'll get some.
But it would have been great if like the letter continued and it was all this stuff that like he was such a big fan of like the David Menck and Gene Colan stuff that just killed him to go through Crisis, and like that was the reason.
Yeah.
I have all these comics.
These fun.
That's true. Year one was fucking gold. That's a fact.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
that was some awesomeness right there.
Mumbles will be writing into Becstar.
Fuck
sure.
yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, he might end up with his own column eventually.
Yeah, I mean, eventually he'll just start doing shows. Like I'm going to travel, and then Mumbles can do shows. There
we go.
Then
this is my heckler Mumbles. Everybody, let's give it up for my heckler.
Flash. So what was the deal with like why the Flash Rogues Gallery would regularly throw dinner parties and conventions and other things for themselves?
Yeah, they were weird.
It doesn't seem like a good plan. And the Flash would kind of show up like, oh, hey, let's see what's going on at the party. Like, and then they like here, big shock. The convention of Flash villains is going to they're tricking him by giving him an award as their favorite hero.
Yes.
Like Mirror Master back there, like, yay. And then Mr.
Let
Freeze
me kill him.
Fuck him up.
Yeah, well, eventually they threw a party where they murdered his wife. So
yeah, so they finally got it right, I guess, sort of.
Yeah,
but
just like, oops, all dead.
He's in Central, and Jay Garrick was in Keystone, right? Isn't that how it worked? The Twin Cities were Keystone and Central.
Yes.
And I always felt like Central City stayed in the Silver Age while all the other rest of DC moved on, and that's how you could get away with that shit. Because they were just idiots.
There's something like I feel like something happened, and DC ended up making some blunders along the way with like the Flash's Rogues Gallery, because on paper the Flash's Rogues Gallery is like better than just about anybody's.
I agree. He rivals Batman easily. His rogues are great.
But they just haven't done enough with them, or like in the Bronze Age, they were still acting all dumb and goofy as everyone else was like starting to grow up. And I feel like that was to the detriment of that Rogues Gallery. And that's kind of when you ended up, no offense to Cary Bates, because I think he's done some excellent comics over the years. When you got, Len and Marv and Jerry and Doug and these guys doing Batman, they elevated those villains in a way that like Cary just didn't on the Flash. And I think, unfortunately, it persisted like
I agree.
Kind of to this day. Like
someone in the chat just said, and I agree with it, the cartoon did a great take on how the villains worked and also how the Flash worked in Central City. But I also think in general, the DC animation guys, Mirror Master in particular, they've done an excellent job making him a scary, scary villain. And he can still be goofy at times if you want. But yeah, if you're going to have rogues, they should be a threat. It shouldn't just be like, oh, the Flash will be here. They'll say something funny and do something goofy and put him in jail. Like, that's not a comic book.
So, but need to be very threatening. That's there. It doesn't work to take all the threat away. But
Grant did a good job with Mirror Master and Animal Man.
Yes, he did. Yes, they did. Well, he was heathen, but yes, they did. Yes, they did. I'll get it right eventually.
I cannot now not see that weird Riddler neck. So thank you for ruining that cover for me. That's
Jesse
from hack artist Jim Aparo.
Your history's greatest monster, Jesse. Thank you for that.
It's true. That neck is very, very weird. Hey, as we do these here real quick, I did want to say thank you. As I know, some people we did cross 20,000 subs here a couple days ago. So Thank you very much for that. It's again, thank you. I can just say thank you. I don't even know what to say. It's crazy. Looking forward to all that stuff. I do have a bunch of boxes here ready to get a comic shipped out, and so that it's a campaign that will get started here really quick. But it's not a campaign like you've seen it before, because like I said, the boxes are here, so they're already.
You're already ready to go before you start the campaign.
Yes, all drawn, paid for, done, and also we'll be announcing, some, at least in the Seattle area, some local shops that will have the comic for sale on the shelf as well. If you want to get that, one.
It's if you're a professional or something. Look at that.
It's fun. So it's I'm helping with this. It's not my comic, but you'll understand my involvement with it. But it's cool. There will be more stuff like this, and honestly, it's because the YouTube channel grew. I'm taking the money that this is making that I didn't want to make in the first place. I don't like the ads, but so why if that money's going to be made anyway, then might as well dump it all into comics. So that's.
Oh wait! If I wasn't on premium, I'd be seeing ads on your channel.
I may be. Okay. Yes. There you go.
All right.
So
yeah, but now that we're looking at these comics here, I just got to bring up that's a Denny Spider-Man. What is it with you had this guy Denny who completely changed the game on some characters, but was just a dud on Spider-Man.
Not everybody matches everything, right? I think you would agree. You know,
of course,
sometimes you just don't feel that vibe, and you shouldn't be on it. And a good editor would go, "Okay, it's not for you. It's time for you to go."
Yeah,
quickly.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. His Craven is not bad there.
No, that's I mean, Craven, sure, but I mean, this is already at a point where it's very clear that Craven's a garbage villain. He was really good when Ditko was still there, and then I've brought this up before, but only because it really stands out as being truly awful. The last issue of Stan's run on Amazing Spider-Man was an awful Craven the Gibbon team up.
Oh dear God, the Gibbon.
And then he left after that, and it was like, you know what? Good.
Yeah. Shame.
Get off this book now. Get
the hook.
But yeah, like Craven just kind of sucked for a while after that, and that's why they killed him off with Craven's Last Hunt.
Which was an excellent series.
That was great, and then Marvel immediately regretted it. Every time the big two does something that everyone universally applauds and says is excellent, they immediately panic and make a bunch of horrible decisions. Because a year or so after that, they had the Ghost of Craven come back to do an adventure with Spider-Man. Because again, they regretted it, and then they brought him back to life and killed him. Brought him back again. They brought back his son, and it just did all this stuff. Something happens when you do a good comic at the big two, where everyone loses their minds and tries to absolutely annihilate any goodwill from it, and it's just baffling.
You think that was the point? Maybe they just were really shitty at it that year. You can't hit a home run every time. Quick! Everyone loves Craven's Last Hunt. Let's bring his ghost back. That's what we'll do.
What's comical here? We need a Craven Clone Saga story. We got one. They did reveal that Craven had a bunch of clones made, and they were killing each other. That's not even a joke.
Who is Calypso? Wasn't that his daughter?
Yes.
Didn't Craven have a daughter?
I think that's her first appearance.
Right. Yeah. So that's what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to get Craven 2 in the form of Calypso, and we never got that.
Yeah, which is, again, just shows you Denny's legacy on Spider-Man. He's got Calypso as his claim to fame.
God damn. You are just going in today.
This Captain America book was a good one. This was where they try and draft him to run for president. That's a
great issue. I love that one.
It was Stern and Burn, baby. Can't touch him.
I remember. I mean, I was definitely a kid young kid when I was seeing some of these, and winning a Toys R Us shopping spree did seem like the pinnacle of anything that my life could ever become. And
yeah, I remember feeling that same way as a kid, and I remember those Toys R Us commercials when I was a kid, which were like that was like in the early 90s, but it was the whole like I don't want to grow up a Toys R Us kid thing, and I remember feeling that way as a child, and I never want to be a fucking kid again. I'll tell you that right now. That being a kid sucks.
Yeah, I would never go back to being a kid ever. Like who I could not wait for that shit to be over.
Yeah, it's like I enjoyed it at the time, and then now I'm like, oh no, that sounds like hell. I couldn't do that again.
Tricking us into thinking I'm young.
That's why he brought me on here, so you guys will look younger. I get it. I know what's up. I'm a token old guy.
That's why Perch always wears his cap to the side.
That's right. Yeah. That is true. Everybody who's seen me knows that's true.
And he's got that chain. Kids. Still using that chain wallet.
Oh, yeah. Gotta love that. Baggy pants and the bowling shirt. That's what's a dead giveaway. The bowling shirt.
They're making it so much worse now. Check out Superman's grabbed hot girl. Like, why? I don't know what the background to the story is, but for some reason, Superman's determined he needs Hawkwoman's wings, and he strapped them on, and he's going to murder some people.
Wait, no, that's Hawkman's wings.
You're right. Yeah. Yes, Hawkman's.
I'm guessing they're on a red sun planet, maybe, and he got no powers.
It has to be, but I don't know why. I mean, if he has no powers, like Hawkman should keep those wings.
Well, he's got a gun too, apparently, in his right hand. He's carrying that rifle like he means business. Yeah, well, he's carried it like he's going to use it like a club. But even so,
I do like that. Yeah, his Superman's just going to beat somebody to death with a bullet. He doesn't use guns. He just murders people with guns. So I Vigilante, that cover, I love that cover though.
It's a really great cover. I think most people know Vigilante from those 2 issues Alan Moore did, and that's it.
Yeah.
But people today.
Good, though. Marv Wolfman, this is a decent comic that actually holds up pretty well. Yeah.
No, so the premise of Vigilante, this version of Vigilante, is basically what if the Punisher was a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
And you got Ross Andrew on there, co-created Punisher. So there you go. But and Ross Andrew got like the short end of the stick. I feel like he's very.
Thanks,
I guess
Jim.
Thingorians don't have that. Yeah,
you guys are just
they're aliens. They're aliens. But, why do they need nipples?
I mean,
but like Ross Andrew was a good artist on Spider-Man and some other books. I feel like it was so underappreciated.
Sure.
It's a shame.
I think he would have gotten more props if he hadn't been surrounded by people like Perez at the time. You know.
Here we got a Meridroid, a giant cap carrying a whip-up cap.
I remember that. Mike Zack.
Yep.
Another beautiful Mike Zack. And that is next to it is I'm going to say Mike Golden?
I believe that is Golden, yes.
Oh, Christ. Those were the days, baby. I have all 3 of these stupid comics. The Meridroid was dumb, but I loved it.
I like the Ghost Rider back and forth here is pretty funny too. The police are like, "Hey, why is that flaming lunatic kidnapping the Water Wizard?" And the Water Wizard's like, "No, what the hell? Put me back in jail." And Ghost Rider's like, "At least you're struggling. I'm about to really fuck you up."
That was back when you could get away with open homophobic statements like that.
What the fuck? Ghost Rider.
I missed it. So Joe, people were saying you were homophobic on a previous stream.
What?
That did happen because I was making jokes, but it's because I'm gay and I can do that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that seems kind of dumb.
Well,
do your research.
Like what was the joke now?
The joke, which I enjoyed making, was that they were talking about the homeless or the unhoused Captain America that
right.
buddy of mine, Josh Trujillo, got to write. And that's one thing I will say about Chris Cantwell is I'm not sure if it was just him or editorial, but the fact that he worked with other writers and artists to get them on board for that, Cap series and gave people a shot is admirable, and a lot of people don't do that. So right. I'd like to at least say that. But I made a joke because I was like, a gay guy that looks like that, if he's homeless, he's not using the apps right.
Whoa! Whoa! But that's funny.
It is.
That's fucking funny.
It is funny.
You're basically saying he's too hot to be homeless because he wouldn't be. He'd have a different couch every night, at least.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think that's funny. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I am not currently gay, but I find that amusing, and I'm sorry about it.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Who's your favorite female G.I. Joe character?
I have no favorite G.I. Joe characters.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh wait, the Cobra chick.
The Baroness.
That's my favorite one.
All right.
Oh God. I
love my Baroness. Yeah, it's all about the Baroness.
I like Scarlet. I like the redhead.
I was gonna say, Scarlet, but then you just sound like a poser because everyone.
No, everybody goes for Lady J. I think
really?
Scarlet. Scarlet puts up with a lot of shit. I'm just she was cleaning up a lot of garbage, and there were early issues where Scarlet would grab one of those guns and mow down people, and I.
That's right, Matt. That's the Baroness. The lady you're talking about is the Baroness.
Yeah. No, but I always like the villains, but I think that's also a gay thing. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't dislike G.I. Joe. I just don't actively like G.I. Joe. I'm indifferent to G.I. Joe.
What used to be great was they used to play G.I. Joe and Gem and the Holograms back to back when I was growing up. So I'd watch that.
That's just kill me right now.
We had two. Chris asked two questions. What are your thoughts on Jim Shooter? What are your thoughts on Larry Hama? I mean, both great. I mean, they were installed in an era of Marvel that I wish would come back.
My Jim Shooter should be he's the EIC all editors in chief should aspire to be, from my point of view. They don't like his manners, a lot of them, but he was a friend of creatives and a friend of the product and a friend of the audience in a way. And he was strong and smart, and he knew how to make comics, and that's what you want.
Yeah, Jim Shooter as a young teenager dragged DC out of the Silver Age, kicking and screaming.
Yes, he did.
And what he did on Legion alone. I mean, he did great stuff on Superman too. He did the first race between Superman and the Flash. That was Jim Shooter. And he and Parasite. He created Parasite, all sorts of stuff like that. And his legacy at DC. Yeah, I mean, and just the kind of things he just create as a teenager that DC still uses today, like the Kuns, the Dominators, all these other alien races. It's crazy.
You guys know this, but many of the audience will not know this. He also tried to create some of the first black characters and had to fight and lost those fights. Shadow Lass of the Legion of Superheroes was supposed to be black. Pharaoh Lad was supposed to be black. These were Jim Shooter creations that were shot down by his editor-in-chief because they wouldn't sell in the South. But he was in there swinging for whatever the actual culture was right then as a teenager. So, and he gets my vote.
And then when he went to Marvel, he's the guy who was responsible for hiring Wheezy, Vicente, Larry Hama, Christopher Priest.
That's right.
He was behind bringing Dennis Callan into Marvel.
Yep.
He did a lot to
and
diversify.
All because he wanted the books to be good.
Yeah.
He just wanted the books to be freaking good. God bless him.
No, I absolutely. Kind of a throwback to an earlier question here. A question for all three of you. Creator, we kind of addresses the creator of a character is upset at what DC or Marvel is doing. Do they have a right to be upset, or should they know what they're signed up for?
Second
one. A little both, right?
No, second one.
They should know what they're signed up for. What
you know what you signed up for.
What do you mean by upset? Like, I mean, if you're upset, like the company does a direction you don't agree with, I mean, it's it's fair game to be upset if you continue to take their money and stay there. I mean,
look, I'm a huge Alan Moore fan, and he's pissed off at the handshake deal that he made that was supposed to protect his beautiful Watchmen from future exploitation. But he should have known there's no such thing as a handshake deal. If it's not in the contract, it doesn't exist. So he doesn't get to whine about it. And what about Dave Gibbons, who gets to get those same residuals? He gets those same royalties from being the co-creator. You're going to fuck him out of his ability to make passive money, essentially, off of something he co-created? No. You don't have to be happy with it. I don't like all the exploitation of the Watchmen as a fan, but it's work for hire. It's work for hire. They own it. They can do whatever the hell they want with it.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I mean, it is what you signed for. I mean, there's variations. I think it's completely reasonable for you to say, I don't agree with this or I don't like this. I think that's a far cry from you throwing a gigantic tantrum. Yeah. You should have your opinion. It just, you don't have to be a complete asshole about it, as it turns out.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, like, I'm sorry, like, I'll shut up in a minute, but like, everyone loves the Punisher now. But if the Punisher was only ever the way he was when he was started, he's just a villain. He's just a straight up villain for Spider-Man to kick around from time to time. Now he's this other thing. If you created the Punisher, maybe you have some feelings about that. But, you don't own the freaking Punisher, dude. If you had felt that strongly about it, you shouldn't have given it to Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
No, but, I mean, you can't necessarily control some of your emotions like that. If you're upset, you're upset. There's a difference between, like we were all getting at, not liking something and being upset about it, and like going that step further and undermining the people working on the title now. Exactly.
Like, because they're work for hire too, right? Yeah. I sort of popped on this at the beginning. There's a pitch and there's what the company wants, and there's some synthesis of that creates the book. If the company wants the Punisher to be a good guy or to be a black guy or to be a fucking werewolf, whatever the company wants, that's what's going to happen, whether it's me writing it or not. And if you invented the Punisher, you may look at that and go, he's not a werewolf. What the hell are they doing? You don't get to get mad about it.
Yeah. Len Wein had said something. I forget exactly what he said, but he had made some reference at some point to how it's interesting that Alan Moore feels this way when he got big off of Swamp Thing, something that he didn't create, that he fundamentally changed everything about.
Yep.
Yeah. But he also, I have a whole thing about Alan Moore and Swamp Thing, but the question is, should the artists, creators work for the company? If the company had strong editorial and strong creative executives, then it would probably be a smart play to have in-house staff the way they used to have them, be on salary, but also know from an audience point of view, that would limit your variation of style and approach so that you would not have the recompense of, it's Geoff and Joe on this book and they suck, but how long can they really last on it, right? It wouldn't be like that. It would be like, this is the bullpen, this is what you get. So it's a 6 of one, half dozen the other. Companies don't want to pay for insurance. They don't want to have to worry about things like that. That's why the freelancer economy, what the rest of the world calls the gig economy, all freelancers always work like that. Like, we sat around, all of us freelancers, as the rest of the world started doing that. We're like, what y'all whining about? We always had to carry our own insurance. We always had to do all this other stuff. You're just coming over to where we've been living, and it freaking sucks. But it's all because the company's limiting liability and limiting cost. So, in a perfect world, they tried it with CrossGen and it flamed out. So, I don't know.
It's a hard problem. It's not a one way. It's not a one answer thing, but it is one that a lot of people have definitive opinions on, and we're seeing a lot of these in the chat here. And there's a lot of it's a tough situation, and it is hard when you got creative people and they feel like they're pouring their heart and soul into things, but ultimately it's not what they own, and then it goes in a direction they don't agree with, and they feel like their children have been taken away. And I get that feeling, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really change the fundamentals of the deal they signed. So anyway,
don't sign a contract if you can't fulfill it. I hate to say it like that, but that's what it is. You got to know who you are, and what will break your heart and what won't.
They can't all be Atari Force, right?
Dude, that book was the shit. I love that book.
I'm surprised they haven't. So Atari Force is another book that has, despite being called Atari, it has held up. Like, it's a good, solid sci-fi book.
Yeah, I agree with you. I loved it. I mean, I think we talked about this before. Wherever Atari ultimately went, the rights either are just out in the wild and anyone could do it, or they're sewed up again and DC doesn't have access anymore. And I know Marvel with the Micronauts tried to have their cake and eat it too after they lost the license, but I think Atari Force was too wrapped up in their actual product that, like, you couldn't. Let me put it to you like this. I wanted to allude to Atari Force in Green Lantern, where John Stewart is, and that was a hard iron door slam down. No, you cannot.
Yeah. Okay.
So those rights do not exist in a free world.
That's we almost got Atari Force in your comic.
Well, some version of it, yeah. I love that book. It was great.
Huh, all right. Legion of Superheroes here. I think this is Keith Giffen, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Some nice, very, very nice stuff. Cool.
Wow, these questions are wild.
Yeah, we've got a lot of questions. And Chris, you're asking a ton of. There's no way we're going to get to all your questions, but there's a ton of great questions in here. So
yeah, man. I'm not a big Moon Knight guy, so I have no opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that Thor run. That was when he was meeting all the other gods.
Yep. Tyr. Yeah.
Was it Keith Pollard drew that?
The Thor cover?
Yeah.
I
can't tell.
Would have been the right time frame. I think so.
And the She-Hulk, I have no reference for.
She-Hulk. What are your thoughts? Moon Knight's a title. So is She-Hulk. I mean, for that matter.
Fuck you, Mumbles.
I don't even know where. Yeah, this is definitely She-Hulk before she got on the roids. It is Moon Knight is an interesting character because there's been radically different runs for him. I don't believe anybody has said they liked every Moon Knight appearance, because they've done dramatically different things with that character.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Very, very good. All right. Here's another wonderful Zek Deathlock cover, and here's Thor.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Here's Thor being given a hard choice. It's the classic "come home with me" or "no more pussy for you."
He's an idiot.
Yeah,
that's Sif. What is he doing? Go home, dude.
Yeah.
I think the decision was to switch teams and give it to Walt Simonson.
Yeah, that was the real decision.
A turning point in the life. Yeah, I mean, I think Thor. You go back to Asgard, you drink all day, and in Asgard, it always comes back to drinking with me. But yeah, this was some fun stuff. In the Spidey book, this was a good payoff to a nice storyline in Spidey.
Yeah. Spoiler: was it Ned Leeds?
Wasn't it? But what did it later
Hobgoblin?
Turned out like they're retconning the shit out of this right now at this moment in Spider-Man. So,
Mike Zeck was straight up the shit though. God damn.
Oh yeah, but no, it's really great. I'm happy that they keep dwelling on the past and can't just move forward with Spider-Man, and we're just stuck in all this muddy garbage for I guess till we're all dead at this point.
I'm not reading it. I can't comment. I don't know what the hell's going on with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, well, my favorite Spider-Man artist is Chris Bachalo, because he's my favorite artist, period. Whatever he's drawing, he's my favorite.
I agree. It'd be nice if that comic could come out.
kill to work with that guy.
Nonstop Spider-Man just turned out to be the cursed name of all time. But
did issue 1 come out and no more, or none came out?
We got 3 issues out, but issue 4 has been delayed further. I mean, it's and issue 6 has completely been taken off the board, and nobody knows at this point.
I love all of these comics.
Mm-hmm.
I love the UFOs. I'm glad they got to return in this comic.
I like the use of color here for the Avengers. I like how they've made the prison into the silhouette and all the rest. There's some really cool cool creation here. A lot of depth going on. I think I did a video on this. I don't remember anymore. But the Hank Pym situation, is Hank Pym redeemable? What do you two think?
I don't know. I mean, the problem is, we all know the crazy history of that one panel of that one comic, and everybody sort of running away from it. Like, I didn't know it was going to happen like that. The artist went crazy and took my words out of context, all of that bullshit. But an editor and an inker and a colorist all saw that fucking panel and nobody blinked. So whatever. It depends on how you do the redeeming, I suppose. Like, if it's going to be like, I keep going back to Green Lantern because I'm always talking about Green Lantern, but I got a lot of shit
for the book,
because of Xanshi, right? John, I hated Cosmic Odyssey. I hated what they did with John in that book, but it happened. So it's part of his backstory. So if he's going to get redeemed for that, I don't know how in the real world such a person gets redeemed, but that would be the way to do it, whatever it is. Otherwise, it's just going to sit there like a freaking extra appendage that just rots.
Yep.
Yeah, I think going back to your video, I did listen to that video, and basically,
I'm sorry.
It's hard to get past this stuff because every single writer that takes on the character has to mention it.
Yeah,
that's just it. I don't get, like, Pym. It feels like they put a lot of effort. Like, John Byrne puts a lot of effort into trying to redeem the character over on West Coast Avengers, separates him from the Wasp, and does some work. And then, like, before too much time goes by, they immediately like, hey, remember the time he beat his wife? It's like, well, why are you bringing that up? Why? Yeah. Why? Well, I mean, move on.
The instant disclaimer, and this is why I wonder if certain things can be redeemed. He was nuts at that time. He was at least a multiple personality. He was absolutely out of control. It was not even a drunk. It was like a brain imbalance in a real world context. There was literally something chemically, physically wrong with him when he was acting like that. The Yellow Jacket only exists as a character because he was losing his fucking shit at the time.
Yeah.
So if he needs to be redeemed, then he needs to be on his meds, basically. You could do a story where he has an issue where he has to control it with meds, like people in the real world do. That doesn't take his responsibility for the event away, but it means I'm acknowledging that I did that when I was out of control, and I can never be that out of control guy again. That would be one of the things. Like, I have to have my meds. I can't do certain things. This is how my life is restricted, because when I'm off my meds, it's the kind of shit I do.
I mean,
you can do that.
It just seems weird that they with Hank Pym, they can't either resolve it and acknowledge it like you're describing, or just like quietly forget it and move on with it. They keep picking at that scab. And meanwhile, as some people mentioned in the chat, I mean, there was a storyline where Peter hit Mary Jane.
Yeah.
There's a storyline where he was raped by some friend,
right?
Family. Like, why those they move past? But
I don't know, dude. I feel like with the way the press is, quote unquote, the press is right now, any artist or writer who decided to use Yellow Jacket, Hank Pym, or just Hank Pym and never addressed it would be accused of trying to hide it. Ugh. I don't think, like, I would not use Hank Pym, period, specifically because of that. I would never, ever use him.
That's just terrible. I mean, that's destructive with, that's just awful. I mean,
it is, though.
Stories on it. I mean, it's true. I mean, look, you made a tweet about Hal Jordan, and I think continued to come out and out now. Without it.
Whatever, yo.
But like, just anyway, I don't know.
But yeah, you see how it is. Like, the way the internet works.
Yeah.
The way social media works in general, people complain about it, or they just commit to it. But is anything you've ever done, it stays alive forever. So In that case, unless you took pains to clean him up, to make him suffer, essentially compensatory suffering, to and he comes through to the other side. And Jan can never forgive him. That's another thing. They can never get back together. That's over.
Which is again, there's a storyline in West Coast Avengers where he moves out there. He's trying to do different things. He winds up, as I recall, starting to either have a friendship or date. What was Firebird? Was that
right?
And he almost turns to religion, and then they immediately like, hey, let's move Jan out to LA too, and have them bring that stuff up again. It's like, what are you what are you doing?
Right. And if you're going to redeem him, quote unquote, then you have to give him a redemption arc. That's it. Whatever it is, you have to spend story time on it.
Yes.
You can't just say it happened.
It just feels like they've done multiple redemption arcs and then hit the reset button anyway.
Yeah, somebody doesn't want to let it go, I guess. I don't get it.
Range. This X-Men was awesome though, wasn't it? This was Wolverine fighting the Brood.
Yeah. The return of Cochran, right? That was Dave's second run on the book.
Yeah, after Burton left, and great stuff.
He was off shortly after that, and we got Paul Smith, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yep. It's this was a good run of comics. All right, so we've reached the end of this wonderful night here. Good time. So folks, old Perch. So I'm hitting the road for a couple weeks. Okay. So I think we're going for there will be at least 2 weeks no stream. Going to travel out of the country some and deal with that. So it'll be a crazy time. We'll see how it goes. Have about 50 videos in the can that can go up, and so that it'll be like I've never left. But I'll miss you all. I like doing these live streams and everything else. So I apologize for this. Yes, Mumbles, I apologize. I ran out of time, and I should have gotten some 90s and 2000 comics in there. So I apologize. It is it should be we'll put some stuff out there. I'll miss you guys. There's a chance. There's one person that I wanted to come on and do a little stream with. So there may be some kind of surprise middle of the week thing before all the travel kicks in. But Joe and Geoff, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Brother, I love these things. This was once again the highlight of my week.
I'm glad to hear it. Now it's fun to just talk comics, and to everybody who showed up in the chat, thank you for coming. You can hit like, I guess, and somewhere in the midst of all this, we'll get a comic book up and out so you guys can see that. And I'm excited by having that goes out. Sadly, it's not a vacation. I wish it was. But
that's what do you say? 2 weeks?
Yeah, at least 2 weeks. So
okay,
yeah, I'll be out through the rest of the month. So fun times.
We'll reconvene when you return.
We will. Thank you. I'd love to continue to talk, and we will. If there's a way to do something from the road, I'll do it from the road. I don't think that's going to be possible, but we will see. So we'll see.
Brother, what I'm about to do with these Green Lanterns, you have no fucking idea.
It's good stuff. I'm going to continue to enjoy reading these comics, and Joe, thanks for all your help as well. And again, I can't stress enough, you guys put a lot of effort here. Joe and Geoff, both of you join me on streams. Joe's done a ton of videos and retrospectives with me, and all the growth is coming from you guys and the people watching these shows. So thank you very much.
Yay, audience! Woohoo!
Yeah. All right. Well, stay fun out there. Have some good fun things to drink, and we'll catch up on the road. I'll post photos on the road as I can.
Bye.